Let's go ahead and start the meeting. If everyone stand up and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll do that first. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Red McDowell, would you give us a word?
Yes. Let us pray. Gracious and eternal Creator, for grace, for mercy, for the ability to assemble in this room tonight. Touch us individually and collectively. Allow us to sense your presence. And in addition, allow us to heal the hurts and yet celebrate the successes of our city. Move in such a way that hearts are warmed and tenderized. Lord, we ask it and claim it in your name. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Good evening. Mr. Rickaman?
Here.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Present.
Mr. Badura?
Aye.
Mr. Vine? Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mayor Benjamin?
Present. Madam City Manager, move we adopt the agenda, move item 29 to the top of the agenda.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, and if you wouldn't mind holding item 41, sir.
L 41. Okay. All right. Duly noted. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickaman?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Badura?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin, we would ask for any public input related to the agenda items as outlined. Seeing none, we ask council to approve consent agenda items 7 through 27.
Is there a motion?
Move. Second.
Move in second. Discussion? Seeing none, move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickaman?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Badura?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin, a period of resolutions, item 29, resolution number R 2019-091, approving the honorary naming of the 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600 blocks of Juniper Street between David Street and Farrow Road as Emily England Clyburn Way.
It's an honor to have Majority Whip James E. Clyburn with us tonight, and his all three of his daughters. Okay, I see Angela now too. I see former FCC Commissioner Mignon Clyburn, Dr. Jennifer Clyburn Reed, and her husband Walter in the back, and Angela Clyburn Hannibal. I teased the congressman at the memorial service that the congressman usually calls and tells me something to do that I know I'm supposed to be doing anyway. But when Ms. Emily called, things happen a lot faster. She is a woman of few words, but she said what she meant, and she meant what she said. And she was a model spouse, leader, librarian, incredible mom, raising three amazing young ladies, and just a model citizen who gave all that she had for as long as she had. And it was an honor. We've done honorary namings in the past, but I don't think we've ever had one done as fast as we got this one done. And it was one of our proudest moments, certainly one of my proudest moments for the last 9 months. So have we already voted? I'm not sure. All right. Is there a motion? Mr. Davis?
Second. So move.
Second. Any discussion? We'll move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickaman?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Mr. Badura?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. Mr. Congressman, say a word. Round for Dr. Clyburn, y'all.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, let me thank you for this tremendous gesture. As you can imagine, over the last week or so, we have been doing things that Emily asked us to do a long time ago. She knew of her eventuality before we could accept it. Last night, as we plowed through some documents, we came upon a letter that Emily had written to me, asking me to ask you, Mr. Mayor, to cease and desist all efforts being made on her behalf to have a facility named in her honor. And she said to me in that letter, I keep my ears close to the ground. I know what could flow from this. I have all the honor I need, and I don't need this one. I don't remember if I ever told you about that letter.
You did not?
Because I didn't want you to cease and desist. But I want to thank you and the council for this. Emily and I met when we were teenagers on the campus of South Carolina State. We became an item come March 15th. It would be 60 years ago. And we were married for better than 58 of those years. I want to thank my wonderful daughters, my son-in-law Walt, my brother Charles is here. And one of the most amazing things to me in this experience was to see the grandchildren, nieces and nephews, one getting in his car and driving all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico, to be here. And it says to me that you can have an impact on people's lives without ever having to raise your voice. I don't think any of those nieces and nephews ever heard Emily raise her voice. But as you said, when she spoke, they knew to listen, and I knew to respond. So I want to thank you for this gesture. I want to thank you for what you've been meant to this family of mine. And I hope that those of us who are left will make you proud of this gesture. Thank you.
Thank you.
City Manager.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, would you like to continue with presentations and take up the other resolution at the end?
Yeah, sure, let's do that. Yes, ma'am.
sir. Our first is the Columbia Fire Prevention Month Proclamation, the Honorable Mayor Stephen K. Benjamin.
Whereas the City of Columbia is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting Columbia, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally in homes or where people are at greatest risk from fire, and whereas U.S. fire departments responded to 357,000 home fires in 2017, according to the NFPA, and whereas U.S. home fires resulted in 2,630 civilian deaths in 2017, representing the majority of all U.S. civilian fire deaths, whereas the Columbia-Richland Fire Department responded to 646 structure fires over the course of 2018, And whereas recent NFPA studies showed 3 out of every 5 home fire deaths result in fires in properties without smoke alarms or with no working smoke alarms. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas the NFPA says that only 1 of every 3 American households have actually developed and practiced a home fire escape plan. And whereas victims of a home fire may have only a few minutes to safely escape, and whereas the City of Columbia first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education, and whereas the City of Columbia's Fire Prevention Office performed 6,512 fire inspections, presented 82 fire education programs, conducted 94 home fire safety surveys, and installed 386 smoke alarms over the course of this past year. And whereas the City of Columbia and Richland County, our citizens, are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Stephen K. Benjamin of Columbia, South Carolina, along with my fellow members of City Council, declare 2019 Fire Prevention Month theme, Not Every Hero Wears a Cape. Plan and practice your escape. Because it effectively serves to educate the public about the vital importance of maintaining smoke alarms in their homes and creating and practicing home fire escape plans. This is 2019 Fire Prevention Month. There's a lot of whereases, but it highlights exactly how important and serious an issue this is and the amazing work that these men and women of the Columbia Richmond Fire Department do every single day. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, City Manager. First of all, let me thank you for that proclamation. I really appreciate it. And you're right. These men and women, they put their all in all on the line every time they go out. And they are the best of the best. Like, you couldn't get no better any place you go. That's my opinion, and that's what I'm going to stick with. You already said about the theme for this year, which is not every hero wears a cape, plan and practice your escape. And that's what we want the public to know. Always have an escape plan. Fires are no joke, and they can happen to anybody. So I know you spent for time, so I'm not going to do my usual 30-minute speech. I'm just going to call it down to just a few minutes.
God bless you.
So just want to say we are actually having our fire prevention parade, and we're going to take it to the neighborhood. On Saturday, October the 12th, we actually be in the Greenview subdivision with our fire prevention parade. We usually take it down Sumter Street, but we want to take it to the neighborhood. We want to take it to where the people are, like we did last year. So it'll start, it'll be we have a block party in Greenview Park after the parade. Parade will begin at David and Gabriel Street at 11 a.m. and the route would take fire trucks to the Greenview Park for the community block party. So, in short, we just want to encourage everybody to practice fire safety, be vigilant, be aware, watch out for your neighbors, and watch out for one another, and always, if you have the biggest thing also is to make sure you have a working smoke alarm, because that's what it's all about. That's the first thing that's going to alert you that you have a fire in your home. So that's all I got, man.
All right. Thank you.
Surprise.
Very much so.
Great.
This honor came during your annual leadership conference this past weekend in Myrtle Beach. As we all know, has been an active member of the Fire Chiefs Association, works with the leaders and fire service across South Carolina, networking and educational opportunities. This past year, he did serve as the second vice president of the organization. Shows his vision to not only better our fire department, but one and all here in the state. So I wanted us to give him a round of applause as you've done for our favorite fire.
We are impressed but not surprised. We got a great chief.
I didn't hear hail to the chief.
Who can
You
mess up
on
a compliment
fire,
like
man.
that? Y'all go ahead.
Trying to get there. I'm not sure there was enough room with the Chiefs' heads, you know.
You guys want to come around this side right here?
City Manager.
Next presentation is the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month proclamation, the Honorable Mayor Stephen K. Benjamin.
We recognize the major issue of cybersecurity awareness and the vital role that technology has in our daily lives, and that critical infrastructure sectors are becoming increasingly reliant upon information systems to support everything from financial services, telecom, transportation, utilities, healthcare, and emergency response. And we understand that the use of technology enhances education of all students of all ages by providing them access to educational and research materials. And we know that internet and technology users face an increasing threat of malicious cyber attack, significant financial and personal privacy losses due to identity theft. And we also realize that we have a collective responsibility to maintain the security of cyberspace, in which each of us has a critical role. And awareness of computer security essentials will improve the security of our city's information infrastructure and our economy. So we're proud to join a coalition of private companies, nonprofits, and government organizations to continue to raise awareness about cybersecurity among all technology users by helping them stay safer and more secure online. So we're proud to recognize October 2019 as National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Gentlemen.
A-team up here, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I know.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I have with me Eric Goodwill and Raymond White, members of the IT department, and I am Corey Williams. And I just want to expand on the proclamation that was just read very briefly. So October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we want to bring awareness to the employees as well as the citizens of what we can do to make better decisions when we use technology. And I'll just read this very briefly. Cyber threats pose one of the gravest dangers that our city faces. They jeopardize our city's critical infrastructure, endanger our individual liberties, and threaten our way of life. When we have our intellectual property stolen, it harms our economy, and when one of us becomes a victim of online theft or fraud, it puts us all at risk. This year's theme focuses on 3 phases: own it, secure it, protect it. Owning it simply means take responsibility for your devices. If you own a device, it becomes your responsibility. Secure it. Secure it means to take steps to secure your data. Implement a strong password. Use something unique that cannot easily be guessed. Do not click on suspicious links. If you didn't go to a restaurant in 2 years, chances are they're not going to send you a free gift card. Don't click on that link. Take advantage of multiple authentication methods when possible. Protect it. Protecting your devices and data means make sure you're using a password on your home Wi-Fi. Make sure you update your devices regularly and limit the amount of personal information that you post online. During National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, the city will work to make our cyberspace more secure, and we will double our efforts to bring attention to the role we can each play. Please take some time to visit the city's website as well as our social media platforms as we provide more information on ways to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 32, National Community Planning Month Proclamation, the Honorable Mayor Stephen K. Benjamin.
Four more to go.
Plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work and live, and whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community, and whereas the full benefits of planning require public officials and citizens who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation, and whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories, and whereas the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorsed National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our settlements and environments, and whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of planning commissions and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the City of Columbia, and whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by professional community and regional planners of the City of Columbia, and extend our heartfelt thanks to the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now, therefore, I, Stephen K. Benjamin, Mayor of the City of Columbia, along with my fellow members of City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2019 as designated Community Planning Month in the City of Columbia in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month, and urge our fellow citizens to recognize and participate in its observance. We have an awesome planning staff. If you didn't know it, now you do.
How many more we
Four.
How many more we got? Press on, my brother.
Yes, let's finish.
You're going to do it? Wait for her.
Mayor, I will, in hopes that Ms. Devine makes it, and she's dealing with a family matter, we'll combat to the Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation and move forward with the recognition of North Columbia Partners by Ms. Cassie Aaliyah, founder and CEO of Serve and Connect.
I can't say what I said in the paper about Cassie last week. For those of you who read it, I meant every word of it. I guess we're 4 years and a day from a life-changing moment in Cassie's life, and so many people take tragedy and they bottle it up. And the work that you've been doing to really fundamentally change the world. We see Cassie in tough parts of town, sometimes in tough situations, never running away from some of the difficult discussions, and we think that's all she is. I've also seen her on the national stage, just really showing people how in this little corner of the world we call Columbia, South Carolina, you can do some amazing things with vision and intestinal fortitude, and just building a great team that really tries to be inclusive. And we're thankful for your leadership and all the folks that you inspire. So, Cassie Aaliyah, Serve and Connect.
My goodness, Mr. Mayor, I'm deeply humbled by your words, both in the paper and now. Thank you. It's really an honor.
For the record, I call Cassie a badass in the paper, just in case. If you didn't read it, I meant it. So.
Goodness. It's truly an honor to be here, council members, Ms. Wilson, to everyone here in the chamber. As you acknowledged, Mr. Mayor, yesterday marked a very difficult day. It was 4 years since I lost my husband, Greg, in the line of duty in the city of Forest Acres. And today I woke up with the reminder that on this day 4 years ago, I woke up as a widow, not sure what the future would hold, terrified. I knew then that nothing would ever bring my husband back, but I desperately wished that there was a different path forward, one where police and communities could stand together. And Mr. Mayor, I'm humbled by your words, but it's certainly not my credit to take here today. The reason I'm standing before you is because I want to be able to say thank you and recognize the amazing men and women who have made this North Columbia partnership possible. They give me hope. They've showed me that there is a different path. They are creating a blueprint for change that I believe will not only transform, and not only already is transforming our North Columbia community, but I believe is shaping a future for how people and communities across our country can approach effective community safety partnerships. I could go on and on about this work, but I do want to show just a brief snippet of a video we've put together, if we could take a moment.
My name is Zaria Stroman. I was born and raised in North Columbia. Almost every day, someone knows me. That's one thing I like about my community. Everybody knows each other. Someone needs help, somebody's gonna reach out to you, and just really fast. The majority of my community is Black, is African American. So it's like a family, just a huge family on different streets, a huge family on different streets. But we do get an awful name sometimes. And I wish that, wouldn't happen, but you just have to be here to understand what goes on here.
My name is Brian.
So this is just a portion of a video, one that's on our website. I would love to send it to all of you to be able to see. It's something that we've already begun to share, not only throughout our state, but nationally as well, and I believe really represents the heart and soul of this work. I did put together just a brief overview of some of the success that our North Columbia partners have had so far, and a bigger report will be ready in about a week or two. But since November of 2018, we have engaged over 193 individuals representing over 70 organizations. Now, that is way too many to name every single name. I wish we had time, but I do want to acknowledge our friends that are here. If you could please stand and join me. I want to thank our City of Columbia Police Department partners under the incredible leadership of Chief Skip Holbrook, our partners at the Columbia Parks and Recreation Department under the leadership of Director Randy Davis, and our many other friends that are here tonight, including Ms. Oni Jackson, Ms. Regina Williams, Mr. James Sanders, Dr. Jennifer Gunter, Ms. Rhonda Marshall, Ms. Kim Mitchell, Mr. Ronnie Coney, Ms. Kate Schoen, Sergeant Matt Moody, Mr. Bryant Davis, Mr. Dean Slade, Deputy Jason Kazupi, and Lieutenant Robert Calby. Each of these individuals have been transformative to our work, and it's just the beginning. You'll see in the packet some of our next steps together, and I hope that we have the chance to dive into this more. Like I said, I really believe this is transforming the way that we view effective community safety partnerships. We've seen snippets of it work across our country, but we are doing something bigger and better and different, and the rest of the country is starting to pay attention, and it's really my honor, and from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you for giving a space to recognize, and thank you for giving me a space to say thanks, these partners that are giving my heart so much hope. Thank you.
How you doing?
And Miss Charlotte Brown. Get cozy, like each other. Mr. James.
Mayor Benjamin, another community partnership. We will have Ms. Dee Albritton, Executive Director of Fast Forward, come to bring an update for you.
D.
D.
I did not forget the cupcakes this time. Please touch me, I do not forget them. So it's 20 years, which is, I guess that means, Mr. Davis, you and I are the only ones left standing, right? From the very first Fast Forward. So it's been a 20-year partnership. We've done a lot of things. We've grown a lot. But the one partner that we've had with us all the way has been the city. So I can't thank you enough for everything you've done to support us and for what you've done to make things better for all the people that we have worked with over the years. Thousands of the residents of the city that we have been able to impact because of you. And we're very, very, very grateful. We're having a little celebration on Wednesday morning. If you want to come by and have another cupcake, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to put these up here. I'll bring you guys a package over there. But I just wanted to make sure that we were...
I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to take this moment to thank you for all the cupcakes that we've been getting for the past few years.
20 years.
But not only that, but all the difference that you made and everybody that you touched through your program and through your organization. So today we recognize you for 20 years worth of partnership, and
Councilman Howard Duvall has a little presentation for you. If you will give us 2 minutes to read the proclamation for you.
My pleasure to read this proclamation on behalf of the council. Whereas a digital literacy is a critical tool for lifelong learning from childhood through adulthood, and whereas differential access to technology for at-risk populations was recognized in the 1990s as representing a digital divide, and whereas a commitment to bridging the divide by providing technology education to at-risk populations was demonstrated 20 years ago by a group of local partners, including the City of Columbia, Midlands Technical College, Richland School District 1, and United Way of the Midlands, who secured a federal grant to establish a community technology center, Fast Forward. And whereas Fast Forward opened in 1999 in a borrowed classroom at Hand Middle School, moving later to a 3,000 square foot lab where they have operated continuously. And whereas Fast Forward has provided technology access and education to over 7,000 Columbia residents, including children, seniors, homeless, veterans, developmental disabled adults, and local government and nonprofit staff. And whereas Fast Forward is one of only 2 of 40 originally receiving a United States Department of Education Community Technology Center grant still in operation, and has twice been recognized as a national case study by the United States Department of Education and by America Connects Consortium. And whereas Fast Forward's enduring success has been a product of committed leadership, attention to shifting community needs, application of advancements in technology, a commitment to collaboration, and an unwavering focus on addressing the needs of the people who walk through the doors of Fast Forward. Now, I therefore, Stephen K. Benjamin, Mayor of the City of Columbia, South Carolina, along with my fellow members of Columbia City Council, do hereby proclaim October 9, 2019 as Fast Forward Day in the City of Columbia, and urge my fellow citizens to recognize and participate in its observance.
Say this: if you want something done right, if you want good details, good data, good policy, good ideas, you go to D. Albritton. And if you want to get fat too, please. I do not need cupcakes. I do not need. Are they sugar free, fat free, calorie free, and carb free?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ask special.
Give mine to Joel Smith. Give mine to Joel.
For everybody that is in the chamber, you don't only get educated and entertained, but we feed you at the same time.
Please eat these cupcakes so we don't have to eat them. Thank you, Dee, and the whole Fast Forward team. Madam City Manager.
Item 36 of the Columbia Museum of Art update by Ms. Della Watkins, Executive Director.
Hey, Della.
I did not bring brownies.
That's all right. It's easily correctable.
Ice cream would be okay, too.
Okay, sorry. Well, thank you. I'm Della Watkins, Executive Director, and thank you for allowing me to present today. First, I'd like to thank the leadership in attendance for the Columbia Museum of Art. With me today is Dr. Alan Coles, the President of the Board of Trustees, Commissioners Wendell Brown, Commissioner Joel Smith, and the CMA Deputy Director, Joelle Ryan Cook.
Amen. All right.
I'm excited to be here today because we are transforming. The changes at the museum over the last 3 years have been far more than a construction project. Since my coming to Columbia exactly 2 years ago this month, I've been focusing on this transition, how to better serve our communities, how to attract visitors, and how to be that go-to tourist destination. Well, 21 years ago, Main Street was beginning its transformation. We're embracing the last 21 years, but we're also looking forward to our future. With the City of Columbia's vision and support, the museum opened in 1998 to jumpstart the downtown revitalization. Together with you and a lot of partners, friends, and neighbors, we are a vibrant and economically sound arts, retail, business, and active community district. Thank you for your support of the capital campaign. The renovation is complete. We have this brand new entrance on Main Street, and it is making a difference. I also want to thank publicly right now, over the last 18 months, I have called every single department in this city. I want to thank all the staff that has helped me with the permits. We've moved electrical boxes, I've moved bricks, I've moved irrigation, I've moved signs, I've replanted. Thank you. As a major art museums across this nation are also changing. Once, museums were a place for art. Now they are a place for people to engage in art. This is my third museum renovation, and I have found that this community and the staff and everyone is ready to recognize a museum as more than a repository of beautiful art. We've spent months figuring out, how do we serve communities? What are we going to do differently? The CMA is committed to the concept of being a 21st century museum. We believe that we need to be inclusive, we have to be participatory. We believe that art is meant to be experienced, not just seen. And museum is a place brimming with new ideas. If you've not been over, come see me, because the museum galleries now reflect a brand new interior, and all 20 galleries are reinstalled by themes, such as art and identity or God's myths and legends. The Boyd Plaza is in partnership with you and me to be a game changer for Main Street. Since reopening in March, the museum has hosted nearly 75 programs with community partners. And it's measurable, because I'm here to tell you that the month of June for my museum was the largest month in attendance in the last 10 years. That is a big thing. So, how do we do it? Well, we know that we have historical things, we have beautiful, interesting, and we need to serve our public. But how do we invite them? How do we respond to community needs? And how do we engage you to come visit? Well, we have promises. We promise at the Columbia Museum of Art that we're going to be inspiring. That means you're going to learn about each other, yourself, through art. We promise to be welcoming. We want to be warm and inclusive. We want to be accessible. We believe that you belong there, and we're going to treat you that way. We also are community-centered. We are rooted in and reflect our own diverse communities. We are champions of this thriving Columbia. You better believe we're also playful. We believe that art's an adventure, and in order to be an adventure, you have to have open-minded exploration. We're vibrant. We are working every day to make your museum a bright space, to make ideas and possibilities come true. We've developed an educational and engagement philosophy. It includes, you need to come there and think. Think about new ways. Think about art. Explore your interests and notice the details that make a culture come to life, a time period, or an experience. I also know that if you don't connect, you're not coming back. So, connecting means that we need to work with one another, through one another, and connect with each other. And for thousands of years, man has wanted to create. You do it because you need to. You also do it because it's fun. And in our museum, we have active participation in history, music, art, dance, poetry, architecture. We can teach anything. So come over and take a look. The focus right now is on diversifying our menu of opportunities. And here on the side, you see a short list. This fall, we'll have Van Gogh and his inspirations. In the spring, we will have It's Alive, which is horror and sci-fi art. And this summer, we have a photography show, Black is Beautiful, and we have art made by nature. So just down the street, opening on Friday, we want to entice residents and visitors here to see Van Gogh. Opens on Friday, and we kick off a celebration on the 10th. I hope you each will come and attend. It's a fact that exhibitions drive attendance to museums. It's our commitment to find the art, to borrow it, to ensure it, and to make sure we show it, because this is a signal to our residents that they are important, that our city becomes a vibrant part of the main traveling exhibition program, and it is a commitment to this region. So, thank you for your sustained support and continuing support, and I'm very happy to be a partner of yours. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to, while we had Della here, I knew you were very innovative and a go-getter, but I could not believe when I read in the newspaper that the boys and girls basketball team will tip off in Boyd Square. I don't know how you did that, but I can't wait to see it.
Well, it is because partners are coming to our business district. So come see. It is two Fridays away or 3 Fridays away.
Like that, yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank all of you for your service on the Art Museum Board, and Joel for your service to the museum as well. We got professors and deans and superintendents and the whole 9 yards. You got everything pretty well covered. So June was the big month, you said, Della? Was that Wild Pop Bliss? Was that a big part of it? That was amazing. That was an amazing exhibit, by the way. It's made you feel like a big kid in a lot of different ways. But my daughters enjoyed it as well. So thank you for what you do. All right.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I think we will go ahead and take up the Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation. The Honorable Mayor Stephen K. Benjamin.
And usually, Ms. Devine, who she, along with several members of our team, Ms. Suti and others, really invest so much time and energy in making sure that in this city we recognize the scourge of domestic violence, and we invest our time, talents, and treasures in meeting the needs of those who need us most. So whereas we recognize that domestic violence is a problem that plagues our communities and our neighborhoods, and whereas South Carolina was ranked in the top 5 states in the nation for the rate of women killed by men, according to the recent statistics from the Violence Policy Center's report on homicide data, and whereas females 18 to 34 generally experience the highest rates of intimate partner violence, and whereas men who as children witnessed their parents' domestic violence were twice as likely to abuse their own wives than sons of nonviolent parents. And whereas domestic violence is a leading cause of injury to women, more than car accidents, muggings, and sexual assault combined. And whereas the City of Columbia recognizes the commitment of Sister Care Incorporated and the South Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault to provide life-saving resources to domestic violence victims and their families. Now, therefore, I, Stephen K. Benjamin, Mayor of the great City of Columbia, among my fellow members of City Council, do hereby proclaim October 2019 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the great city. And urge our fellow citizens to recognize and participate in its observance. So who's going to accept this on behalf of Ms. Devine? Okay. Well, my very first board that I ever served on as a community member to finish in law school was the Sister Care Board. So I'll accept it on behalf of Sister Care, and I'll make sure that Nancy Barton gets this. So thank you. All right.
Resolution number R 2019-089, authorizing the city attorney's office to join the City of Columbia in a class action lawsuit against prescription opioid manufacturers and wholesale distributors.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to the previous question. The clerk will call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Moving into our zoning and planning matters for second reading, item 37, the annexation comprehensive plan map amendment and zoning map amendment for 68.4 acres on Lockman Road.
Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I?
Mr.
I think I'm
Mayor.
accusing this one. I think I'm accusing this one. Okay. All right. You're moving second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Read the
We're
call.
doing it.
Roll call.
Roll call voting here.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a matter of habit, I don't vote on issues in the Wood Creek Farms neighborhood where I live. I have no pecuniary interests, but it's just what I do. All right. All right. Let's keep going.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I meant to remind you of that one. You always remember. Ordinances, first reading, number 38, ordinance number 2019-073, amending section 23-143, water service rates, and section 23-149, sewer service rates, section A and section 23-149, sewer rates.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Can we get Clint to explain this?
Yes, sir. Technical changes.
I think you're just doing the language gallons, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just, we want to make sure that
Put it on the
whoever is
record.
watching that doesn't think we're raising water rates again.
Right.
No, sir. Thank you. This is clarification language so that we can bill our new AMI customers in accordance with gallons used versus cubic units of cubic feet. So no rate change, just a clarification in how we were able to send those bills.
And this only will affect the ones with the AMI meters.
AMI meters, and as we transition our 145,000 customers to AMI meters, they'll be notified of how the units on their billing will change. The quantity of their bill will still be reflective based on the amount of water that is used, so no rate change.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it, Clint.
Thank you. We'll move to the previous question. The clerk call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
39, ordinance number 2019-079, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract of sale between the City of Columbia and Emmett L. Chaplin for the sale of 134 Burton Heights Circle in Richland County.
Move to approve.
Moving second.
Second.
Is there discussion? Move the previous question. Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
Item 40, ordinance number 2019-082, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract of sale between the City of Columbia and Zellie Scott for the sale of 100 Gabriel Street in Richland County.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, move the previous question. Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
Item 42, an annexation, the interim comprehensive plan map amendment and interim zoning map amendment at 121 and 141 Sparkleberry Crossing Road.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, we'll move the previous question. The clerk call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 43, an annexation interim comprehensive plan map amendment and interim zoning map amendment 4624, 4628, and 4830 Divine Street.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. I think, is this what I asked you about, Krista? Okay. I know we have the developers here, but it's wonderful to see something happening on this site. Can someone discuss the flood concerns there? Are we good on the location to develop?
The development team did meet with staff and stormwater and the floodplain administrator, and they understand the regulations and will meet them.
Okay, super. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye. Thank you.
Moving into a period of appointments as listed, Ms. Jenkins will come forward. The items on your agenda include the Central Midlands Council of Governments, Central Midlands Development Corporation, Columbia Museum of Art, Columbia Tree and Appearance Commission, Municipal Election Commission, and the Property Maintenance Board of Appeals.
We're gonna hold the election commission.
Okay.
We're gonna ask staff to
Hold 44 too.
repost it for final consideration at the next meeting. So you can close it on the 13th or whenever you need to make it practical. Maybe that Friday. When do you usually share the applicants with us by Friday?
Yeah, the Friday before the council meeting.
So make it close the business Thursday before the
Okay.
meeting, for you to get us what you need. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
But that's just election commission. What else would you say, Daniel?
I was just wondering if we should just
Can't hear you,
hold
buddy. I can't hear you, buddy.
wondering if we should just hold 44 until Ms. Devine is back.
It does include either her reappointment or another council member's appointment.
We can hold it. We can hold 44 as well.
And it also
Is
includes.
she interested in pursuing reappointment? Do we know?
I think she would, but she also said of somebody else, and we didn't really discuss it.
So we'll hold that until she.
I'd like to
spoke
go
with her.
ahead
She
and
said the same.
reappoint Mr. Leidinger for his position and hold the second position.
Okay.
I move Bill Leidinger for Central Midlands.
Council of Government,
Yes, reappointment.
44. All right. Second, in discussion? Seeing none, with the previous question?
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
I will hold the other slot until Ms. Devine is back.
Okay, next up is the Central Midlands Council of Government, their Development Corporation. They're recommending that you reappoint Miss Ellen Cooper.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? With the previous question?
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
Next, we have the Columbia Museum of Art. There's one appointment available, and there are a total of 5 commissioners, and we have about 12 applicants.
I'd recommend that we select Miss Nancy Tolson.
A second?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? With the previous question? Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move that we elect Earl Ellis. Yep, then we have 2.
I think we only have one.
I think we had 2.
How many slots do we have?
There's only one.
Ellis.
No, we already did
See
Ellen.
if we don't have 2 appointments on that.
I've spoken with Columbia Museum of Art, and they've said that we only have one, but
Okay.
Let's 1, 2, 3, 4.
1 open. All right.
Do you, Mayor?
Okay, that's good.
We'll have the opportunity to potentially revisit that next year. Yeah, we'll have some more time. All right. That was
Yeah.
great too. All right. Tree and appearance.
yes, sir. We have 2 appointments available. One is an at-large, and one is for a developer/realtor.
Realtor. It looks like quite a few fit the at-large appointment.
Move the appointment of Stephen Forrest and Daniel Brennan.
Second. And Mr. Brennan would be the Realtor appointment.
Yes, sir.
Stephen will be the at-large.
Perfect. Thank you.
Move the previous question. Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye.
Last, we have the Property Maintenance Board of Appeals. With this particular appointment, we have 5 individuals seeking reappointment. That's Mr. William Scott Barnes, Leslie Williams, Tammy Davis. A special exception will have to be made for Jeff Caswell and Catherine Finner, who have already served the 2-term limit. And then there are an additional additional 2 appointments.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we reappoint Scott Burns, Leslie Williams, Tammy Davis, Michelle Bailey, and hold the other appointments until we can re-advertise.
Second.
Who was the last person that you mentioned, Councilman Duvall?
I think he sought
Michelle.
reappointment of all the commissioners, all the appointees who were eligible for reappointment.
All of them? Okay. William, Leslie, and Tammy.
And Michael Bailey? No?
There isn't a,
I'm sorry?
I don't have a Michael.
Yeah, Michael Bailey as well.
Oh, I see it.
Be
Got it.
doing 4.
Second.
And then there's additional 2 slots available and 3 people that applied.
You got, so let's,
Oh, goodness.
so you have, okay, let's take that first. Move the previous question, clerk call the roll.
Mr. Rickman.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Mr. Badura.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin.
Aye. The consensus is to re-advertise? Okay.
Ooh,
It's
sorry about
amazing.
that.
This is one of the boards where we couldn't pay people to serve on before, and now we have a bunch of applications, so, all right. All right.
I apologize for it printing flipped. So
that?
I'll make sure, it printed on both sides, and so a little topsy-turvy. I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure it's printed correctly.
This is well done, Ms. Jenkins.
Thank you.
All right, is that the last one?
Yes, sir, it is. So you want to re-advertise property maintenance?
And also, again, and give them both the same deadline, so we can maybe get these filled in October. So next meeting is the 15th, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So that would put you at the, what is that,
The Thursday.
November 19th.
our next meeting?
Oh, the next meeting is October 15th.
Okay,
And then the
so,
next meeting would be,
so the
November.
so application deadline is the 10th.
say it again?
Application deadline would be the 10th.
Okay.
That Thursday before we have to send it out. Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mayor and Council, Ashley, she may have already, I'm not sure, if they know about Parks and Rec Foundation being advertised.
Yep.
Okay,
We
super,
would be thinking about that.
super, all right. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ashley.
Thank you, Mr. Easton. Thank
We
you.
have one citizen who signed up to speak. I'm sorry, do we have any matters taken up during the work session that need consideration, Ms. Wilson? No work session items, right? All right. Any committee reports or referrals?
No, sir.
All right. One citizen signed up to speak, Mr. Ben Hassin. Please, Mr. Hassin.
Good evening.
Would you pull the microphone down so we can hear you and the people on Channel 2 can hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager. My name Ben Hassin. I'm a graduate student. Before, 25 years ago, I have Dr. Bandara, my other half. She does some research at the University of South Carolina. I came here before you, Mr. Mayor, asking the City Council for help for the taxi transportation in the city, the taxi cab. Nobody in the entire United States can ignore the presence of Uber, Lyft, all this network that providing transportation. I invest in this city more than $200,000 that I lost the previous 5 or 7 years. I start in 1997 working for the Check Yellow Cab, and I make my way all the way around until I own 26 cab in the city. Now I have 2. My wife, who is a doctor, she drives taxi with me because we cannot make it. There is different reason, many reasons to the transportation. I probably try to put it in a friendly way. Every household in the United States is going to have in a driveway on inside the apartment complex an Uber or Lyft driver. Where are we going? We pay in taxes, of course. We are a good citizen. We worry about our fellow, like the gentleman who cannot find the transportation when he need to go because he need a wheelchair van. Everybody put on us some sort and some kind of regulation. I'm asking your help. Every member of the council to help us to understand, to go in deep, analyze our problem. My first concern is to make it easy. I brought on my phone an application for a Lyft. You're welcome to take it around, please. You can go online, apply for a driver for Uber or Lyft. In 1 hour time, you are assigned and drive a car. Provide the transportation to the general public. God knows if you are good or less than good. Hopefully it's good. I stay positive. But 4 click, you have a driver license, you scan it, you have a registration, you scan it, you have a proof of insurance, you scan it, you wait until they get back with you, you drive. In the taxi cab, you have to wait about 2 weeks to do the application, get a driver record, get a background check, get a physical, which is, they taken advantage of us now, the physical, they are not doing anything. I can prove you, Mr. Mayor, that there is people who has some health concern that they are driving. Some handicapped men, which is nothing wrong. I can be tomorrow, I can be in Iraq and be handicapped, who driving for Uber or Lyft. How you can be that? All what I'm asking your council is to start a new cycle to look up the transportation for one. I am the only one in 2011, October 2011.
I'm going to have to wrap up, Mr. Hassan.
In October 2011, we asked the raise for the rate because 2011, the gas price was almost $4 per gallon. In a taxi cab now, it's the best time to drop the rate. I'm asking the city council to make it easy for the driver, get rid of all the paperwork to obtain a chauffeur license. We can limit that to a driver record, background check. On the other hand, I'm asking city council, and I know Blue Ribbon Cab, Capital City is joining me in this request. We would like to reduce the taxi cab through the city council from $2.50 per mile to $2 per mile. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan. Who handles livery service? I know we haven't dealt with it in some time. Is that business license? Is that at least in the just maybe a more amenable forum? Let's hear Mr. Hassan's concerns and see if we can work to address them, given the new normal within which we live with rideshare and everything else. We hadn't talked about it in a while, so let's make sure you get with the right person before you leave here today, all right? And thank you for being here. Doctor, thank you. Yeah. Is there a non-debatable motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? You guys want to stay on that? Can I get a second? Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, okay. You guys are faded, man.
Go.
With the previous question, clerk call roll.
We're enjoying all the presentations you've given out today.
I had to listen to you all night.
Aye.
Reading 200 resolutions. Aye.
My presentation next time.
Somebody take these cupcakes.